Dear visitors, Malaysia is an Asian country that is also influential after Indonesia. Malaysia is famous for large development projects. Malaysia has a very powerful literacy, and cannot be underestimated. Following some reviews that we summarize about the military power of Malaysia. Malaysia is a federal state, consisting of 13 states and 3 federal territories in Southeast Asia, with an area of 329,847 square kilometers. The capital city is Kuala Lumpur, while Putrajaya is the center of the federal government. The country's population reached 30,697,000 by 2015. The country was separated into 2 regions, West Malaysia and East Malaysia by the Natuna Islands, the territory of Indonesia in the South China Sea. Malaysia is bordered by Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei and the Philippines. The country is located near the equator and has a tropical climate. The head of state of Malaysia is a king or sultan who is elected in turn every 5 years. Only the countries, states, governed by the king, sultan are allowed to send representatives to become the king of Malaysia. The Malaysian king usually wears the title of His Majesty the King of the Agon Kingdom, and his government was headed by a prime minister. The Malaysian government model is similar to Westminster's parliamentary system. Malaysia as a federal state did not exist until 1963. Previously, a group of colonies was founded by the United Kingdom in the late 18th century, and the western part of modern Malaysia consisted of several separate kingdoms. The collection of colonies was known as British Malaya until its dissolution in 1946, when it was reorganized as the Union of Malaya. Due to increasingly widespread opposition, the group was again reorganized as the Federation of Malaya in 1948 and then gained independence on the 31st of August 1957. On September 16, 1963, in accordance with UN General Assembly Resolution 1514 in the process of decolonialization, Singapore, Sarawak, North Borneo, or what is now better known as Sabah, became a state of the new federation formed by Malaysia, including the Malayan Federation. And on August 9, 1965, Singapore was then expelled from Malaysia and became an independent country called the Republic of Singapore. In the early years of the formation of the new federation, there were also opposition from the Philippines and military conflict with Indonesia. Malaysia is a pioneer member of ASEAN and participates in various international organizations, such as the United Nations. As a former British colony, Malaysia is also a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. Malaysia is also a member of D8, Developing 8, which is an agreement for the development cooperation of 8 member countries: Bangladesh, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Egypt, Nigeria, Pakistan and Turkey. The Malaysian Army is the land component of the Malaysian Armed Forces. Steeped in British Army traditions, the Malaysian Army does not carry the title Royal as do the Royal Malaysian Air Force and the Royal Malaysian Navy. Instead, the title is bestowed on selected army, corps and regiments, who have been accorded the honor by the King of Malaysia, who is the Supreme Commander of the Malaysian Armed Forces. The first military units in Malaysia can be traced back to the Penang Rifle Volunteers raised on the 1st of March 1861, and the Malay States Volunteer Rifles which existed from 1915 to 1936. The birth of the modern Malaysian Army came about when the Federal Council of the Federated Malay States passed the Malay Regiment Bill on the 23rd of January 1933. This allowed the initial recruitment of 25 males, for the first experimental Malay company on the 1st of March 1933. Major James S. Bruce of the Lincolnshire Regiment was the first commanding officer. By the 1st of January 1935, the experimental company became the Malay Regiment with a complement of 150 men. A battalion was formed on the 1st of January 1938 and eventually a second battalion on the 1st of December 1941. The 1st BN Malay Regiment was famous for its defense of Opium Hill or Bukit Chandu in Singapore. The Battle of Opium Hill on the 14th of February 1942 involved 42 soldiers commanded by Lieutenant Adnan Sadi, who defended their position against attack from the 18th Division of the Japanese Imperial Army, under Lieutenant General Renya Mutaguchi. After World War II, and during the Malayan emergency, the number of battalions was increased to 7 in the early 1950s. The Corps Armada, Royal Armoured Corps, can trace its roots to the formation on the 1st of September 1952, of the Federation Reconnaissance Squadron. It was later merged with the Federation Regiment to form the Federation Reconnaissance Corps. The name underwent a few transformations from the Malaysian Reconnaissance Corps. The 16th of September 1967, Royal Malaysian Reconnaissance Corps, May 1979, to Royal Cavalry Corps, December 1979, and finally to Corps Armada on the 8th of December 1986. The Royal Ranger Regiment's lineage began in 1863 as the paramilitary Sarawak Rangers. Although the second in the order of precedence, it is the oldest active formation of the Army. For 2019, the nation of Malaysia is ranked 41 of 137 out of the countries currently considered for the annual GFP review. It holds a power index rating of 0.6523, 0.00 being perfect. Each nation detailed on globalfirepower.com is assessed on individual and collective values. These values are processed through an in-house formula to generate the power index score, which is used to establish the finalized GFP rankings for the current year. Keep in mind that some values are estimated when official numbers are not readily available, unattainable. Otherwise official, semi-official values are used whenever possible. Manpower. Values related to a nation's complete population and as it relates to theoretical available fighting strength. Wars, particularly those with high attrition, traditionally favor higher manpower. Total population, 31,809,660. Available manpower, 15,201,837, 47.8%. Fit for service, 12,587,121, 39.6%. Reaching military age annually, 526,142, 1.7%. Total military personnel, 410,000, est. 1.3%. Active personnel, 110,000, 0.3%. Reserve personnel, 300,000, 0.9%. Air power. Total aircraft strength value includes both fixed and rotary wing systems from all branches of service. UAFs are not included in this total. Attack values cover both multi-role and purpose-built light attack types, and so some fighters also fall into the attack total. Transports value includes only fixed-wing tactical, strategic aircraft. UAFs are currently being excluded from the total. For an in-depth look into the numbers available to any one air force of the world, consider www.ma.org, external link, the World Directory of Modern Military Aircraft. Also consider aircraft throughout the military history of Malaysia, external link. Total aircraft strength, 187, ranked 51 of 137. Fighters, 39, 20.9%, ranked 44 of 137. Attack, 52, 27.8%, ranked 45 of 137. Transport, 18, 9.6%, ranked 38 of 137. Trainers, 43, 23.0%, ranked 48 of 137. Total helicopter strength, 71, 38.0%, ranked 49 of 137. Attack helicopters, 0.0%, rank 137 of 137. Land strength. Combat tank value includes main battle tanks, MBTs, light tanks, and tank destroyers. No distinction is made between tracks and wheels types. Armored fighting vehicles, AFV, value includes APCs, IFVs, MRAPs, and armored cars. Rocket projectors only include self-propelled forms. Also consider armor and artillery throughout the military history of Malaysia. External link. Combat tanks, 74, ranked 84 of 137. Armored fighting vehicles, 1,460, ranked 44 of 137. Self-propelled artillery, 29, ranked 56 of 137. Towed artillery, 211, ranked 46 of 137. Rocket projectors, 54, ranked 43 of 137. Naval strength. Aircraft carrier value includes traditional carriers as well as helicopter carriers. Submarine value includes diesel-electric and nuclear-powered types, no distinction being made between conventional and nuclear attack forms. Total naval assets value includes all possible, available vessels including auxiliaries, which are not showcased individually below. Also consider warships and submarines throughout the military history of Malaysia. External link. Total naval assets, 61. Aircraft carriers, 0. Frigates, 6. Destroyers, 0. Corvettes, 6. Submarines, 2. Patrol vessels, 41. Mine warfare, 4. We suggest for Malaysia and Indonesia to always maintain peace and brotherhood, because Malaysia and Indonesia are very influential in the world, especially in Asia. Thank you and have a good rest.